Picture it. London, 1974. Smoke ribboning through a low-lit studio. The Stones locked in after midnight. Mick Jagger tipped back in a chair, eyes half-lidded, watching the beautiful wreckage of creation swirl. The 70 seconds weren't only riffs and excess, they were survival. And behind every headline, every chorus, stood a woman who could captivate, complicate, or both. Decades later, Mick looks over his shoulder at 6 women who charged his life and the era with voltage. Each was a storm in silk, muse, rival, mirror, and warning. The story begins, of course, with Marianne Faithfull, the woman who understood the elegance and the cruelty of fame. Marianne was both Mick's reflection and his undoing. They were young, incandescent, inseparable fire and gasoline in the heart of swinging London. She laced poetry into his chaos and slipped a little chaos into his poetry. The tabloids never slept. Hotel dramas, drug busts, a constant tightrope between legend and catastrophe. Passion turned combative. Jealousy and addiction stalked them room to room, and ambition made every emotion louder. When it collapsed, Mick didn't just lose a lover, he lost the version of himself he saw in her eyes. From that wreckage stepped Anita Pallenberg, danger set to a cigarette's slow burn. Anita was the untamable spirit of the Stones' inner circle, a woman who made the line between art and anarchy feel optional. Mick had watched her ignite and undo Brian Jones and Keith Richards, yet he wasn't immune to her gravity. She was magnetic, brilliant, and reckless in a way that felt like freedom. Mick admired her as much as he feared her, recognizing in her a power most men couldn't name, much less command. Anita was a lingering echo in every room, proof that control is an illusion even for the biggest frontman in the world. Then came an altogether different peril, elegant, enigmatic, unmistakably American, Bianca Jagger. Their first meeting wasn't romantic thunder, it was recognition, 2 storms colliding. They were matched in ambition and presence, equally uncontainable. She moved with a poise that quieted chaos, with a mind as sharp as any blade. Their 1971 wedding wasn't merely a ceremony, it was coronation, flashbulbs, champagne, a world watching rock's most infamous lead marry a woman made of marble and fire. Behind the glamour, a Cold War simmered. Bianca wasn't there to orbit Mick, she challenged him. At Studio 54, they didn't join the party, they reigned over it. But beneath the glitter, tension pulsed. Their love was a duel, 2 empires colliding beneath chandeliers. What made Bianca dangerous wasn't seduction, it was sovereignty. She didn't need him. Her composure cut more cleanly than betrayal. When she finally left, she did it without spectacle, just a queen stepping down, utterly certain of her worth. In that silence, Mick learned how invincible and how irrelevant a man could feel at the same time. After Bianca, he drifted toward a woman whose beauty hit a sharper edge, Carly Simon. Confidence personified, quick, incisive, unimpressed by borrowed charm, Carly cut through him with wit, not flirtation. They met amid New York's recording whirlwind, where egos crashed like cymbals. She teased his ego, dissected his words, and watched the world's suest man shift in his seat. In the studio for You're So Vain, the chemistry was combustible, admiration braided with provocation. For Carly, the song was craft. For Mick, it became a mirror. Their connection was a duel among equals, no begging, no chasing, just 2 artists pushing, daring the other to blink. What made her dangerous wasn't allure, it was agency. She could outthink and outsing anyone in the room. Their blaze left no catastrophe, just respect, and the knowledge that he'd finally met someone who could match his rhythm and beat him to the downbeat. Danger can also smile softly. For Mick, it arrived as Bebe Buell rock's wild muse, part model, part singer, a storm in heels who could turn a Tuesday into folklore. She drifted through 70 seconds, glitter and grime, as if it were her living room, backstage doors, flashbulbs, whispers. They met at a party that bled into sunrise music, laughter, and the shared recognition of like meeting like. The spark was electric and fleeting. Bebe was unapologetically free, able to make a man feel immortal one moment and invisible the next. She matched Mick move for move, wholly fluent in fame's rhythm. Nights vanished in conversations about music and madness, the 2 of them oddly calm inside a rim of chaos, but Bebe belonged to no one. When she left, she didn't look back, not from cruelty, but from momentum. That, Mick later admitted, was the danger. Not how she loved, but how she never needed to. From Bebe's electric rebellion, the path curved to a force of nature. Tina Turner, power incarnate, grace fused to fire. Mid-70 seconds, During Stone's tours, Mick watched Tina rise from personal ashes and forge pain into performance. On stage, she was thunder raw, relentless, triumphant, transmuting every wound into voltage. Off stage, she carried a stillness that quieted even the loudest rooms. She wasn't interested in chaos. She was busy enduring, mastering, ascending. Rehearsals with Tina taught Mick more than rhythm. They taught restraint, patience, respect. Her movement was precise yet wild, her presence both commanding and kind. She didn't outshine. She didn't need to. Her light was internal. Tina's danger wasn't destruction. It was resilience. Every note declared freedom. Standing beside her, Mick understood. True danger isn't the whirlwind. It's the unbreakable spirit that outlasts it. As the decade eased to its edge, Mick Jagger could trace the map these women etched across his life. Marianne, Anita, Bianca, Carly, Bibi, and Tina. Each left a scar, a lesson, and a song. None of them orbited him. They collided with him, brilliant, unruly, unforgettable. Some cracked hearts. Some rewrote the rules of fame, power, and desire. Together they tempered the man behind the strut and taught the artist that passion without pain is just theater. Even now, when the lights erupt and a sleepless city roars back at the stage, he feels them in every chord change and breath. Their shadows live in the groove, their voices rest in the silence between verses. The so-called dangerous women of the 70 seconds weren't his downfall. They were his awakening. They turned arrogance into artistry, bravado into confession. And as the crowd surges and Mick flashes that ageless grin, he knows the sharpest edge in rock and roll was never only the guitar, it was love, honed by women brave enough to challenge him.